Today's episode is sponsored by P3R because they are gearing up for the marathon. The Dick's Sporting Goods Pittsburgh Marathon weekend of events all goes down May 2nd and 3rd. There's the big race and also a half you can run or walk it, the 5K, kids events, and more. So whether you're a first-timer hoping to push yourself to new limits or a grizzled ultra marathoner with tons of experience, there is space for yins. Use code CityCast15 to save 15% off any registration. That's thepittsburghmarathon.com. Use code CityCast15 for 15% off any event. This is CityCast Pittsburgh. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. This city does a lot of food really well. A craft cocktail, for example, yes, please. The humble pierogi all day long. We are in the season of a pierogi with a fish fry. But I gotta be honest, as a born and bred Southerner, I came to town a little skeptical about Pittsburgh's barbecue scene. And I'm not alone. So was our wonderful contributor, Colin Williams, until he went on a little side quest about this for his alma mater, City Paper. Today, we're bringing back my conversation with him about where to get the good meats. So what he loves, who's got the right sides, and which Pittsburgh neighborhood does barbecue the best. Colin, hello. I got to say, I'm surprised that you took on barbecue. I feel like this is brave for Pittsburgh.
It was mostly about kind of seeing just what was out there in some ways. I feel like so many other cities have this like long tradition and all this stuff when it comes to barbecue, and you've got different state allegiances depending on sauces and stuff like that. So
states, cities, the whole thing.
Yeah, I was just curious to see kind of what we had in the way of barbecue at all.
Well, okay, so you're starting from a place of appreciation, maybe less judgment. I like that. I mean, does Pittsburgh, like on the whole, have good barbecue in your opinion?
I would say yes. I think if you are coming here and you've spent your entire life eating delicious North Carolina barbecue, for example.
I've spent my entire life eating delicious Tennessee, Memphis style barbecue. So I am definitely among the judgier set for sure.
Yeah. So I think if you have that Southern background and you have like more of a connoisseur's appreciation, you may find that we have barbecue and that's there aren't any adjectives necessary there. But there are some spots that have really good specialties. I think writ large, if you're looking for like a barbecue tradition, that might not be something that Pittsburgh really has a claim to. But individual dishes and individual spots, I think, really do what they do quite well.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Pittsburgh does one thing well, like just my observation, but like they pay homage pretty well. Like so many Pittsburgh spots have like, they'll say like, this is my North Carolina style, or this is my Texas sauce, or this is my Kansas City smoker or whatever. Like they seem to like at least appreciate the traditions. And I love that about them.
Yeah, a lot of these places have kind of a style that they're maybe like leaning more in that direction. I will say one of the things that is more unusual for Pittsburgh itself is that I encountered quite a lot of turkey barbecue. And I think that's something that's relatively uncommon in the South. You don't see turkey ribs if you're down in Georgia or if you're in Mississippi, but there's a lot of turkey barbecue here.
I had not heard of that at all until your article, and now I've noticed it's on a bunch of menus. Like I don't know if my eyes just like went right past it or what.
Yeah, in some ways, like some of these places have almost like a combination of that like Ren Fair gigantic turkey leg with like your Southern barbecue. So it's a good sort of blending of those genres, I guess.
Hilarious. I feel like we should address this right off the bat. Why you white boy, why did you feel equipped to take this on for City Paper?
So, first of all, Mars, our staff photographer, and I were both we both love barbecue. So that was something that we were eager to kind of seek out. As far as just addressing your question directly, I'm not exactly like a Southern beau or belle. Yeah. I don't have a ton of experience in the world of making barbecue, but I did go to grad school in Florida and traveled through the South quite a bit and experienced a lot of those different styles on location, as it were. So I came back with some preferences. And also, I think when it comes to some of these barbecue places in Pittsburgh, they're in neighborhoods that aren't going to be your North Shores and your Station Squares where tourists are maybe going to head. A lot of them serve their neighborhoods. A couple of these spots are in Homewood. There are places in Perry North and the West End, places like that. And so, I wanted to go to places that maybe some Pittsburghers hadn't been before and give them a reason to check that stuff out. Because if you go to try the barbecue, you're just as likely to maybe stick around and check out another business or spread your dollars around a little bit. So I think it's a good way to just shed some light on the neighborhoods that Pittsburgh doesn't maybe put on full blast as often as these more sort of tourist friendly places.
Yeah, heard. I mean, well, let's talk about those biases, those preferences, as you say. What do you look for? Like, was there a style or a cut of meat or a sauce or anything like that you were like hoping to find?
I was really hoping to find good sauces because I think that that's a key of a lot of Southern barbecue traditions, right? Like an Alabama barbecue place or that does like a white sauce is going to be a lot different from like a real smoky Texas barbecue. So I was curious to see sort of what was out there in the way of sauces, but I really think that you can't have good barbecue if you don't have good tender meats and a variety of good sides that are also individually standouts. And, a lot of places in the South, I think, will get a reputation because they do all of the things well. Like, that every bite's going to be good.
Although their menu might be tiny, like it might be 4 things, but they're going to do all 4 of those things really well.
Exactly. And I think that's so important too. Like you don't want to, it shouldn't be this like gonzo, let's have everything on the menu. Like you should have some kind of limitations or parameters to work within. But really, yeah, I was just looking for sort of the whole package. And I think the places that we were able to find within city limits to varying degrees had their specialties and their sauce styles and things like that. But they all put a lot of love and care into their sides, into their meats, and you taste it in the final product.
Today's show is supported by the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. Think about the last time you walked into a library. Maybe you were picking up your next great read, bringing your child to story time, studying for a test, or just looking for a quiet place to focus. In Pittsburgh, a lot of great stories start at the library. At Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, people of all ages come to read, learn, and discover something new. And April 1st is Library Giving Day, a nationwide day to support the libraries that help our communities grow. Your gift keeps books, programs, and essential library services free for everyone. From early literacy to tutoring, job resources, and engaging learning opportunities that spark curiosity. So mark your calendar for April 1st. Donate at carnegielibrary.org/give. That's carnegielibrary.org/give to support Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh on Library Giving Day. Today's show is supported by the Westmoreland Museum of American Art and their upcoming floral exhibit, Art in Bloom. The Westmoreland's been on my list for a while, and I think that this exhibition is going to be such a fun introduction to the space. I am so excited to see how the curatorial team's setting up Art in Bloom. There's going to be these elaborate creations from floral designers who are all taking inspiration from the art the Westmoreland has on display. And you can vote for your favorite floral design in the People's Choice Awards. Sign up for floral arrangement workshops and demos, or just lean into the spring theme and celebrate with a tea party at the museum. Art in Bloom is running for just 5 days, so don't miss your chance to bask in all the colors and all the pretty scents. Admission's $10 for non-members, March 25th through 28th, and totally free on the final day of the show, March 29th. Advance registration for all days is recommended. To register or learn more, visit thewestmoreland.org.
You took on city establishments, so that's mostly where we're going to play today. A few from your original list have since closed, so we're going to focus on the good news. Walk me through the places that you love and why you like them.
So I think the barbecue place that Pittsburghers are most likely to be familiar with, and who also, this place does a really good job of their sauces. They smell deliciously of hardwood smoke if you drive by, and that's Walters in Lawrenceville. They're obviously not hurting for business a lot these days. They have a line on the weekend sometimes. But they're one of those places that I think, they have really good brisket. They have good pulled pork. They've got just these staples that you would expect to see in kind of any barbecue place that kind of combines traditions or draws on that sort of popular Texas style.
They definitely draw the Lawrenceville crowd to a barbecue tradition. Like they've got all the outdoor seating and all that, like a cocktail menu, which I would say is not the norm for most barbecue places I've been to in my life.
Yeah, but Walters is not going to be your traditional roadside trailer kind of thing, even though they've got that aesthetic going a little bit. They've definitely brought in some of the Lawrenceville traits.
Kind of. It's definitely a mix of like classic Lawrenceville with like, let's redneck it up just a smidge, like just a little.
There is sort of this country revival going on right now where line dancing is becoming more popular and country music is having kind of a moment.
I did not put those two things together. You're right.
So I think it's in keeping with this sort of this kind of stonewashed denim aesthetic that's really coming back into vogue here in America.
Take me to Homewood, because I know there's a couple that are just truly incredible.
So Showcase in Homewood really lives up to its name in terms of just showcasing really good barbecue. We didn't have a bad bite there. The sides were delicious. There was a line when we visited as well, and we caught them while they were smoking just a ridiculous quantity of chicken wings, and it smelled fantastic. So they fire really on all cylinders for me. They've got a nice sort of mustardy style sauce that's got a little bit of an orange tint, a little in the Carolina vein of things. And then they had some really good combo deals as well. So they're clearly a big local favorite.
Yeah.
The Dream is just down the road from them. And they're among the folks who do a really good turkey rib barbecue. Their greens were exceptionally good, really nice and savory. And they had some really good chicken as well. So we had mostly poultry from them. They also do ribs, though. And I was just combing through some recent reviews, kind of brushing up on them recently. And it seems like they've got a lot of regulars now who are really seeking them out for their ribs as well. So those two spots, I think, they're much more sort of your typical barbecue spot. Relatively stripped down menu. You kind of know exactly what you're getting. Opening hours might be limited, and if you don't get there early, you might just have to have chicken wings instead of ribs because everybody bought all the ribs that day. And I think that kind of adds to the charm of it as well, where you can tell that it's a really small operation, a really neighborhood-focused operation, and also one they're focusing on their strengths.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel like that is the correct hierarchy, is that ribs go first, usually then other specialty items like chicken wings, and the pulled pork has to be like the base of everything else that you do, which is not to slight the pulled pork. I'm a pulled pork girly. Like that's what I go to every time.
Yeah, I love the pulled pork myself. I think that's always great. But there's something about food that you have to get your hands dirty for. And I feel like
I don't know what kind of pulled pork sandwich you're eating that you don't get your hands dirty.
I've gotten clever at using the wrapper to kind of hold it and do my best. But
I'm not trying to be nice here. This is not polite food. This is delicious food.
Oh, that's very well said. And I think with the ribs and stuff like that too, like both Showcase and the Dream it's really finger licking barbecue. If you want it to be, you can pretty much eat everything but the greens with your hands, although that too is a possibility if you're feeling brave.
Yeah, you can. Trust. Can confirm. I know there's a few others on your list. Where else are you taking us?
So there is also Pittsburgh Barbecue Company, and I think on the pulled pork front, they're kind of the best bang for buck. They are pretty straight down the middle barbecue. Their pulled pork is excellent, slow cooked, smoky, really delicious. They've got a couple different sauces that you can get to slather your sandwich in or to just go wild on those ribs with. They also have really good brisket. I would say their barbecue stood out to me as probably being the best bet for like a big picnic or like a family catering situation. Because it's all that just by the pound. You can get as much or as little as you want.
Okay.
They also tend to run out of stuff, so it's definitely worth stopping by on the earlier side of their hours.
If the barbecue place ain't running out of stuff, I don't know if I want it.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, the last time we were there, they were out of like half of their offerings, and so we wanted brisket, but had to settle for pulled pork. But they're a good kind of meets all comers barbecue spot. I think if you've only ever had like chicken nuggets and Sweet Baby Ray's, you're going to enjoy Pittsburgh barbecue.
Oh,
if you've only ever had,
sorry,
North Carolina roadside barbecue, I think you're still going to enjoy Pittsburgh Barbecue Company because they're really kind of shooting straight on the barbecue model. It is kind of the platonic ideal of Pittsburgh barbecue as far as we could tell.
And I feel like we have to shout out at least one more. It doesn't appear to be available right now, but they're just a local legend, Wilson's Barbecue. They've gone through periods of being temporarily closed. I hope that's all this is. But you did get to try them. So what did you love? What should we look out for if we see the open sign another day?
I mean, they bill themselves as riblicious, and I think that is very in keeping with their general mission. They have, kind of the same sort of minimalist approach that you see at places like Showcase and The Dream. But those ribs are really, really good. They're so slow cooked and smoky. So here's hoping that those are available again really soon. Last we saw, I think they were making some renovations to their space. So let's hope that they're open sooner rather than later as a North Side legend.
Yeah, that sounds good though. Like more space for the rest of us. I love it.
To the point about good sauce, one of my favorite spots actually was Naka End Zone in the West End. They're apparently closed for renovations as well, but their sauce was unbelievably good, and they really stuck the landing on the meats and sides as well. They're another place that has some good turkey barbecue. So if you're looking for that specifically in Pittsburgh, that's one place I'd recommend when they're back open. But I think as far as just capturing that je ne sais quoi that you need for like a good mustardy orange barbecue sauce, they really nailed that for my palate at least.
Colin, what I'm hearing is that you are a North Carolina fan. That is what I'm hearing from this conversation.
I have to confess that is my favorite barbecue style. I enjoy them all, but when it comes down to it, I really, really like that mustardy sauce. That's something that I could just drink it through a straw.
Nope. Give me tomato base, give me smoky, give me dry rub ribs all day long.
Oh, dry rub. Okay, all right. I'm like, I want it drowning. I want savory meats drowning in mustardy sauce.
No, sauces are for dipping. The meat needs to be delicious on its own.
I mean, I can't argue with that part for sure. I always try it before I try the sauce, but then, we get like 16 fluid ounces on there.
What about vegetarians? Because I feel like as we talk about barbecue, of course, we are centering the meat eaters among us, but it can be dead useful to have like a space that like provides something like a collard green, for example, that is not cooked in bacon fat, which I realize is delicious, but I want to be able to provide something for my veggie friends as well.
So, I mean, I think the skeleton key for that is mac and cheese. If you're not vegan and you can do mac and cheese, basically every barbecue place ideally should have really good mac and cheese. And we found good mac and cheese at The Dream in particular, as well as at Showcase. Walters has some pretty respectable mac and cheese as well. I think combining sides can be a good route for that. So as far as actual vegetarian options, though, Walters has a good salad selection. So you can mix and match those with some different sides. You can do a baked potato, which I think is a really good in terms of just being like hearty and filling and warm and sort of satisfying on a real base level. I think that's a good option as well. But yeah, your options are just going to be a little bit more limited, I think, at any of these places because their focus definitely at a lot of these spots is really getting those meats right, and that's one thing where I just feel a little bit bad for my vegetarian and vegan friends that they don't get to have that same experience.
What about places that are maybe worth the drive? Like, I know we've been talking about the city, but I wondered if you had any on your short list that you've ever either been to or that you would like to go to that are delicious in their own right.
So I haven't had a chance to try them myself. I'm told that Blowfish Barbecue in Swissvale is supposed to be very, very good.
Our producer here, Sophia Lowe, loves Blowfish, but it's a food truck, so you do kind of have to like hunt it down sometimes.
And I think the food trucks are kind of one of the other spots that you're going to find good barbecue in Pittsburgh. There's a food truck called Brisketburg that goes around that has really tasty brisket. There's some really good Chinese and Korean barbecue as well. That's obviously a very different sort of genre, and it probably merits its own article or episode at some point.
Heck yeah.
Beyond that, outside of the city, I regret to say I haven't tried some of the other places that are out in Route 8. I know that there is supposed to be really good barbecue up in like towards Shaler. Along Route 8, there was a spot there for a long time. But I still have some research to do of the barbecue landscape.
Okay, well, I'll share the ones that our team put together. Our boy, Zach Durkin, he loves Mitch's Barbecue in Warrendale, said it's really good. They seem to do a ton of catering. I just took a little peruse through their menu, quite large. And they'll even do a whole hog pig roast for you if you have more than 100 guests, which I've been to many a time. Those are a blast if you can ever get somebody to roast a hog for you. I've also had decent meats at Wheelfish off McKnight Road, which literally feels like someone just like set up up shop in like a shack kind of back there in the woods in like this otherwise very residential area. But it feels like what you would expect. Also, I've had live music there every single time I've ever eaten in store, which I think is also like kind of true to that Southern tradition that like you're eating something smoked while also listening to someone's guitar.
Yeah, and someone's smoky voice too a lot of the time too, if you can get that old, like an old blues guy or something.
Yeah,
there.
no doubt.
One other city spot we actually didn't cover is Southside Barbecue. They also have a pretty expansive menu. They have a couple of vegetarian options as well. They're just right on Carson Street.
I haven't even heard of them.
So that's another spot that's worth checking out. You know, they've got kind of your typical fixins. They've got some seafood stuff as well. They have a lobster mac and cheese that's pretty good. But they also have, I'm just noticing this now on their menu, they have Memphis street corn as well, which sounds like a really good vegetarian option. I love elotes, and I love bringing in a little bit of that fusion flavor to barbecue. So I'm going to have to check that out the next time I'm down that way.
I have no idea what Memphis street corn is, but I'm excited to find out. Colin, any final tips for folks looking to find the good stuff?
You know, order a lot, because I think the best thing about barbecue is the leftovers. That was my favorite part about writing this article. Obviously, getting to go to these places and speak to the people and have Mars get some really amazing shots was great. But then the next day to just have like a huge box of barbecue to house for lunch was fantastic. So, if you're thinking about, do I get the half pound or get the pound, just get the pound. You won't regret it the following day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it keeps too. You can
yeah.
freeze barbecue and reheat it later. It's delicious. Just low in an oven. You'll be fine.
Oh, I have like a whole stack of sauce ramekins in my fridge from just saving those from things as well. So when the places had really good sauce.
Okay, you could also steal things. That works too. Colin Williams, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Enjoy the barbecue, folks.
That is all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. By the way, Naka End Zone Barbecue looks like it's back open. The hours were just updated on Yelp like a week ago. So if you want that mustardy sauce that Colin mentioned, now is your chance. You can support us by becoming a CityCast Pittsburgh neighbor and come hang out with us at special membership events. All the details are at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow with more from around the city. We'll talk to you soon. Colin, I think you just unlocked a memory I completely forgot about, but a roadside place I used to go to as a kid served smoked baked potatoes. I don't know if Walter smokes theirs, but I hope they do, because that was incredible.
Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing.